Hello, folks. I'm Detroit Miracle. Yes, and indeed. Right now, I am here to have more cool comic book slash film slash story fun. This such topic will be about Blacula, aka Prince Mabawambu or Babawambi. Yeah, okay. The origins of Prince Mabuwandu. He went to Transylvania to seek aid from Count Dracula in order to stop the slave trade. This was around 1800s period when the slave trade was in full flow and bloom. But at some point he realized that Dracula wasn't his friend, as Dracula characterized him to be initially, in terms of Dracula showing him the night out on the town. And then he drunk decorative type of cognac with him. So Dracula winds up betraying Prince Mabuwandu or Mabuwambu and turns him into Blacula. But he has to sit in the coffin at least 100 years or so. And then he awoke in 1970s period, maybe around 1972. So he was at least in the coffin for about 172 years or so. And he woke up out of the coffin, or like people were taking the stuff out of Dracula's castle, and they took the coffin with Mabu Wambu in it. And then he opened, and one of the guys unlocked the coffin that Dracula had locked that had Mabu Wambu in it, Prince Mabu Wambu. And then Blacula came out and started biting. He bit the two people, killed them, drank their blood, and then lay back in the coffin and laughed. So this is the film characterization of Blacula in the live action. There also is a comic book characterization of Prince Mabuwambu as Blacula, of course, too. And I would do power comparisons also amongst different characterizations of Blacula in the comic book format and in the live action format. Okay, yes, there is comic book editions of Blacula out there. I haven't found any in the store, but I searched for it and it popped up online. So in that case, you would have to order it. But there are there are Blacula editions out there too, just like every other vampire character with a series. Okay, in the comic books, Blacula is characterized as Blacula Dracula level powers. Like, so in other words, he has the same abilities and powers as Count Dracula, but he also has sorcery type of abilities because his tribe was into ritualistic practices and stuff in terms of their spiritualism and religious beliefs about God. So it might be ritualistic practices within Blacula that Count Dracula has no access to. So in other words, Blacula has more powers than Dracula. I know some might find that debatable, but it's true. Like, because in the live action characterizations of Blacula, they show them being connected to voodoo, and he's tribal and ritualistic. Like, and so voodoo was what resurrected Blacula. In fact, in the sequel to the original Blacula movie, so that was part of his heritage in a way, heritage that is in a way, but to what extent is unknown. So, okay, now let's go with power levels of Blacula. Some would call him Count Blacula because of the nature of his origins, his nobility, his rank, his title. But some would stick to Blacula. And all characterizations pertaining to Blacula, he's a very immensely powerful sorcerer vampire. Indeed. All right, folks, let me know what you think about this.